Alright guys, I'm more calm now than I was before, so I'm gonna redo this review, but once again, like I said, are you fucking kidding me? That was insane! What's up, YouTubers of the world? MegaGeekMixer here to give you guys my review on the season finale of Star Wars The Mandalorian. And yeah, I once again apologize, guys. I was just like all out of control. My emotions were everywhere. Can you blame me though? With the way this finale ended, this finale just kicks out everything with Mandalorian that it went through out of the park. Now, I don't say that in a bad way. I say that in a good way. I mean, all the build-up it went to, all to lead towards this was just incredible. It was genius. All props out to all the people behind the scenes who made this episode possible. Good on all of them. But guys, let's go ahead and get right into this by first talking about the big surprise of them all, and that was Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker. My God, I cannot believe it. Every one of us who are out there on YouTube, social media, guessing on who would be the one to feel Grogu's presence when he was on Tython. We were all thinking people like, say, Ezra Miller, or say some other Jedi, like they were saying Ezra Miller. Hell, I think I even remember hearing some people were thinking Yaddle, because some people think it was Yaddle who saved Grogu from the Jedi Temple. But no, we were all thinking that wrongly, or maybe some other Jedi out there, like say Cal Kestis, or even some people even thought about Mace Windu. But still, the answer was right there, right in front of our faces, and yet we still didn't come up with that idea. Or better yet, I think the better term to say is we did believe it could have been Luke, because it would make perfect sense how like Luke is during this time right here. He pretty much looks like how he was in Return of the Jedi, which makes sense because it was only like what was that, like nine years after Return of the Jedi, so it hadn't been that long. I meant to say 4 years after Return of the Jedi. 4 years after Return of the Jedi. That's what I meant to say. My bad on that end, guys. But either way, you get my point on this. It makes perfect sense to go with everything chronologically. And boy, what a great way to do it. How he came in with him walking through that place like a badass with his green lightsaber, just cutting down all those dark troopers like nothing. And then how he used the Force to crush one of them just like that was beautifully done. All to him making that big entrance and the music playing there at the end. I loved every minute of it. But I gotta say though that of course, if Luke's around, you also gotta have his one and only companion, our favorite astromech droid in the Star Wars franchise, R2-D2. Boy, was I so happy. I mean, I was already psyched and going insane when I was like, Luke Skywalker, are you kidding me? No way! And then next thing you know, R2-D2 right there. And I just went wild, just blew my head up like never before. Because R2-D2, who cannot love that astromech droid? And as a matter of fact, with that little scene between him and Grogu, it's like they were talking, almost like they knew each other, which I don't think is a surprise at all. I mean, Grogu, he was in the Jedi Temple, and being Anakin's droid before Luke, R2 hung around in that temple, so no doubt those two had some encounters here and there. And I would also like to think maybe they got a good friendship going on as Luke is making that new Jedi Order. But now having said all that, we gotta go ahead and go into the closing moments of the episode as Grogu and Mando, aka Din Djarin, are now going their separate ways. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, I was crying in that scene. Not crying hard, like tears were coming out of my eyes and stuff, but still, I was crying nonetheless. Can you blame me? Everything these two have went through together. They have a father-son bond like no other. And sure, Din Djarin may not be good with raising kids or knew how to do it, but he did it to the best of his abilities, and he showed how much Grogu means to him. He stopped at nothing to get to him, even showing his face in last week's episode. But then it all came to a perfect conclusion right here, that after Luke shows up, first Grogu wants Din Djarin's permission, and of course he's going to do it, but it's shown through his reaction of his voice is that he's sad to having to say go, and he is going to miss him. But at least it gives us hint here that we will see him again, because that's what Din Djarin said. He'll see Grogu again, which makes me hope to believe that, considering as we all know what happened in the sequel trilogy, somehow Mando will be able to show up and save him, or Grogu will escape somehow, like again by himself or someone has help. Who knows? But either way, it doesn't still change the fact that here at that very end of the episode, as they're leaving, Grogu wants to see Djarin's face just one time, and the funny thing is, I knew this was gonna happen, but the only part that I was wrong about was that he would only show his face to Grogu. He wouldn't let anyone else see it. But no, he allowed both the Jedi, Luke Skywalker, R2-D2, and his allies to see his face as he removed it, mostly for Grogu. And that was a beautiful scene right there. Finally seeing his face, and Grogu couldn't help but want to touch his face, being like, "So this is what you look like, Daddy. You look awesome." Stuff like that. And then of course, finally, as he was being taken away, like Luke picking him up, walking him out the door, you can just feel that sorrow inside Din Djarin's face. But not just him, Cara Dune, they also show a shot of her and her expression, because even though Cara isn't considered the mother, you can consider her the aunt of Grogu, because Grogu, I'm sure even he'll see Cara as an aunt, which wouldn't surprise me. I think the only thing that was missing from this scene here was Grief Karga, because we all see how he likes the kid too. We've seen how he likes Grogu, so it would have made sense that he would be there too. Or better yet, you know what? Maybe that's just me being nitpicky, but either way, I still thought it would have been great. I mean, the trio were the ones right there to be there for Grogu in season 1's finale. So maybe I just feel that it should have happened in season 2, and we see the three of them all showing their expression as he's leaving with Luke. But hey, that's all good. It's all okay on that end. But now that I've said all that, I've let out my excitement on Luke and R2-D2's return, my emotional feels for that scene as Grogu and Din Djarin parted ways. Now we got to go into some of the cliffhangers that are leading us into season 3. And that is in the fact of the sacred Mandalorian tradition. Now, as you guys know, Moff Gideon took the Darksaber from Bo-Katan. And in this episode, Mando actually recruited Bo-Katan along with Koska Reeves, aka the WWE superstar Sasha Banks. And for a moment there, we got a brief little fighting scene as she fought Boba Fett, and she actually used the tornado DDT with that jetpack. Was pretty cool right there. But all that aside, though, with Bo-Katan now working with Din Djarin so she could get the dark saber, unfortunately, the things take a turn for the weirdest, or maybe complicated, or who knows which to say. All we know is it sets up something crazy going into season 3. And that is in the fact that Mando was going to rescue Grogu, and Moff Gideon was waiting for him with the Darksaber, while Bo-Katan thought he was going to be on the bridge, but he wasn't. And then that's where it led into that great action scene between Mando and Moff Gideon. And guys, I love that action scene. That was amazing choreographic work right there. I loved the fight, and I loved how that Beskar staff and that Darksaber were used in conjunction with each other. Pure genius, though. But as we saw, Mando won in the end, but he left him alive, and this is when he found out that now he is in charge of the Darksaber. He is the one who is, I guess in a way, got to be the now one to rule Mandalore, take the throne. But really, it really shouldn't be like that. I mean, I get that Bo-Katan is honor bound, but hey, when Darth Maul did that with Death Watch's Vesla, I forget his full name, she just left because she didn't want to be honor bound on that, like unbounding loyalty to Darth Maul. And then there's in the fact that, if you guys remember, I'm pretty sure Sabine gave her that Darksaber. So I don't see how, like, in conjunction here, where Moff Gideon is saying that Bo-Katan can't take that sword unless she beats Mando. So that's a little weird right there. But hey, if we got to set up something for season three, we got to do something here. So it makes perfect sense right there. It really does. Or better yet, just says makes somewhat sense and all. I guess what I'm saying is I understand Mandalorians and their sacred traditions, but sometimes I think you just need to look the other way and just pretend it didn't happen. Something like that. Either way, though, it does set up a good plan going into season three. What's next for Mando now that Grogu has found someone who can help him be trained better, and it'll lead into maybe us finding out more about the different splinters of faction when it comes to all these Mandalorians. Maybe somehow they'll find a way to all finally come together and take back their planet, especially before the First Order shows up, since they're trying to make this in conjunction with the sequel trilogies. But with that also said now, I gotta talk about, well, before I do that, I really want to real quick talk about those Dark Troopers. Now, we weren't given as much build up as maybe we wanted to about them, but with that little short scene that they had, they really showed how much of a threat they are if you do not have a lightsaber for that matter. Cause heck, Mando was able to avoid facing a squadron of them at first, but he wasn't able to avoid one of them facing one of them, and he nearly got himself killed because one, smashing his helmet in so many times, I was really beginning to think that thing was gonna break, and it took everything Mando had just to take on that one. So when the entire garrison came back and were about to come into the bridge and take on Mando and his allies all at once, you were gonna be like, I don't know how they're gonna survive this, but that's where Luke showed up and did what he is known for, kicking some ass with that lightsaber. Beautiful scene, marching straight in there. It actually kind of reminded me of Darth Vader during the Jedi Temple raid back in Revenge of the Sith. Sort of, but this is in a more good side of things. But now having all said that, I'm going to go ahead and talk about something else. And that was something that was talked to us about in the post-credit scene, as we were given a hint on what's coming in season 3. Now, I know I already said that, but I guess what I'm saying is I think they're announcing to us a spin-off, and that spin-off is for Boba Fett. Because at the end of the post-credit scene, we're seeing him back on Tatooine, where he is at Jabba's palace, and he pretty much kills off all the rest of his servants back from Return of the Jedi. Mainly that guy with that squid thing, or that, I don't remember his name or anything, but you're seeing the picture, guys, so you know who I'm talking about here. And yeah, he pretty much just killed the guy and then took over. It's almost like, is he going to start his own new crime syndicate, or is he just going to take over a place and make it his own alone? And of course, he had Finnick along with them. So I guess that means we're going to see them in their own spin-off, or are they going to be the focus of season 3 going forward, with us taking a break from Mando, aka Din Djarin? I don't know, but all I know is if we're getting a spin-off here for Boba Fett, I'm all in, because I think the guy's a badass. Of course he's a badass, and the fact that we're actually now getting him now in his own series is really something. A big treat for us all there, just like all those other treats of all those other announcements that have been made to us. But you know what, guys? There it is for you. What? So much to unpack there. I couldn't tell you guys how exciting that was after watching it. My head was just blowing up and stuff. So excited I wanted to rush into making the video. And I do once again apologize for that. I was just being ridiculous in that last review. So of course I had to take it down and redo it again. But hey, we all learn as we go. So that's all good there. But either way, guys, it's time to end it all right there. And hey, if you enjoy my videos, all you gotta do is click that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to be notified when I make more videos. And until then, this is the way, and MegaGeekMixer is signing out. Bye!